All right, greetings and welcome back to Black Bear News. My mic looks a little less like a Death Star today. Slightly. I don't know. It's kind of a wacky little green screen here on StreamYard, but I'll take it. How you guys doing? Victor Jins over on X. We're live on X. Oh, shoot. Let me start the video on Telegram. We're live on Telegram. Should be live on Telegram any minute. Okay, now we're live on Telegram. Very good. If you want to watch on Telegram, we're over there. Denver's here. William. What's up, William? How you doing? Well, let's get into it. Let's just get a right on in. Right on in. Some crazy weather events have been happening. There's been some road buckling in the Midwest due to heat. This isn't it. That's not it. What the heck? Sorry, y'all. Come on. What is going on? No. I don't know what's happening, people. Sorry. I cannot seem to. Okay, I don't know. All right, something is. Sorry, having a little freak out here on my. No. Okay. My copy and paste is not working. Is that what's happening? All right, before I try this again. Hello. All right, there we go. Yikes. 100 degrees in Chattanooga. Not bueno. From Matthew Todd, our infrastructure was built for a climate that is long gone, and it's only going to get hotter. Nebraska saw roads buckling from scorching temperatures. This is from Broomfield, Colorado. And I saw something in Missouri, I think, with people like driving their cars over a buckled road. So Greenland's in double-digit Celsius. Okay. UK is quite hot. There's Mediterranean is quite warm. Let's see. Europe is going to get some heat. Saying a large heat wave is coming for Europe, Mediterranean area. With humidity, yes, it's going to be very hot. Sorry if you can't see this. Could you not see the other one? Did you not see the other one? Sorry. Did you not? This is in Colorado. Some road damage. Where was the one? I saw one in Missouri. Bernie is on Rogan today. Oh my God. Gonna miss that one. Let's see. Oh, this is it. Dang. This one's even harsher. This is in Missouri, June 22nd. .97 heat index in Missouri. Gosh, giga. Harsh. The flooding in China is record level flooding. It's been going on for days, if not weeks. This is a mall in Guizhou. But there's just been some incredible video from the area. Oh, here's another one from the same. Duliu River in Guizhou in China just saw its most extreme flood ever, with water surging at 11,400 cubic meters per second and rising a staggering 11 meters above normal levels. So that is happening in Lake Tahoe. There was a wild, a massive storm. Hold on. Came out of nowhere and killed several people. This just happened. Again, whether, talking about the weather is funny until it comes and capsizes your boat or burns down your house or whatever. A massive freak storm out of nowhere. Snow, hail, 10-foot waves. Actually, they were 8 foot, but pretty big. Hurricane force winds in late June. Boats capsizing and crashing into each other. This was in Lake Tahoe. That's rather insane. 8-foot waves on a lake. You're not supposed to get 8-foot waves. On Lake Tahoe, that's just not a thing. But look at those waves. Massive. Eight dead in Lake Tahoe after boats capsize. So people are just hanging out, enjoying a day on the lake. Within minutes on Saturday, everything changed. A storm moved in, sending tents and canopies flying. White-capped water and 8-foot swells caused multiple boats to capsize, including a 27-foot vessel filled with tourists. On Monday, officials confirmed 2 more people aboard that boat were found dead, bringing the death toll to 8. Ms. Brigantino, who was visiting the popular alpine lake between California and Nevada with friends from Texas and California, watched as boats crashed into each other, ripping from their anchors and smashing onto shore. The howling winds that reached 35 miles an hour even brought a brief snow. anyways, the poor weather was forecast, but no one expected a squall of such force. 10 people from the one capsized boat fell into the water around 3 p.m. local time on Saturday, and only 2 were found alive. Anyways. Kind of crazy story. So Trump was touting that he had created a ceasefire for Iran and Israel yesterday. Israel is not adhering to the ceasefire because Israel is a spoiled, indulged child of a country who just does whatever they want to do. What's up, Victory Jen on X? And the thing is that when often like the spoiled, indulged children will go out in the world and run into brick walls eventually, like metaphorically brick walls in life, where people are going to be like, the hell is wrong with you? Not saying that Trump still isn't squarely in the pocket of Israel. Not saying that Trump isn't acting. Not saying that this is some kind of diversion that Trump is doing in league with Israel. But it sounds like he's genuinely pissed about what's going on. And the thing that Israel should worry about is this. Here's the thing that I just want to say this very clearly. Here's the thing that Israel should worry about, and that is everybody fucking hates them. Right? I love it. I don't know if you guys listen to Indy from the Indie News Network, but he just, whenever he can, he's just like, fuck Israel and fuck those fucking assholes. Sorry for my language, but that's how I feel too. Fuck Israel and fuck those fucking assholes. And everybody hates them. Hates, abhors, dislikes, does not like. Everybody. If you're a person who has some sympathy for Israel, there's something wrong with you. There's something fucking wrong with you. Can't put it any more strongly or bluntly. Anyways, if you're mad about my language, I don't care. So to go back to what I was saying, here's the thing that Israel should worry about. Everybody fucking hates them. Everybody's cheering on Iran bombing the shit out of them. Everybody's loving it. Everybody's like, geez, finally. Somebody, starts kicking some ass over there. And what Israel should worry about is, so they've got everybody in their pocket and they feel like they own all the politicians here and may have some Trump cards, no pun intended. And all of that. But there could be a moment, already several European countries are like, we're not really down with this. We're not really supportive of what's going on. There's several other countries who are not supportive of what's going on, Russia and China being among them. Right. And so what Israel should worry about is the moment when, a mutiny happens in the US and the people, the paid off and blackmailed actors in the Congress and maybe even the president just all get together and go, well, you know what? Let's let the chips fall where they may. Maybe they've got something on us, whatever, but how about we just, we're sick of these little chumps doing what they're doing. Anyways. That's why Israel's allowed in the Eurovision. They threaten to nuke Europe. Yeah, but there might be a time when, several countries or several people with lots of military power just go, you know what? It's, we're done. We're done with you. I know a lot of people don't believe that is ever going to happen. But again, unintended consequences are real. Right? Blowback is real. Unintended consequences are real. Was it Shahid Bolson I was playing yesterday who said, hey, you're playing with your own future as a country. You could economically dig yourself, out of existence. They could economically dig themselves out of its existence. They could actually just piss people off to the point where, it's not happening anymore. At least Donald Trump's Nobel Peace Prize nomination is withdrawn. Anyways, you all have seen this, right? It's anybody's guess whether this is acting or diversion, but he seems genuinely off. I don't know.
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too. Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I'd never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. When I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We have
The biggest
two
loads.
countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
All right. Who knows what the hell is going on? And he seemed very proud of setting up a ceasefire or ending, whatever it was, trying to end whatever it was happening there. He was even trying to time it for the stock market, right? Like he had that whole thing planned out. We're going to bomb him on Saturday. I'm going to declare a ceasefire on Sunday. Right? So that the stock market rebounds on Monday. That was completely timed out. Yeah, nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Exactly. I mean, you might think he's acting, but he's saying real words right there. I don't know. And again, it's possible for bad actors to say true things. It happens all the time. Yeah, the market absolutely did rebound. Quite a bit. So we'll see what the end result of all of this is. But people were a bit astonished at the language. And this is a really great distraction for what's going on with ICE, what's going on with the bill, what's, the big beautiful bill, what's going on with other things, deporting American citizens. This is taking a lot of energy away from like these subjects that people very concerned. Yeah, Denver oil went down on Monday, which if there was a real threat of war, you wouldn't necessarily see that. It seems to go against the prevailing thoughts of what's going on over there. So is he really trying to squash what's happening over there? I don't know. Is he really trying to hamper or get in the way of Israel escalating this thing? Again, we don't really know what's going on. It's hard to know what's going on behind the scenes. Do I have high hopes that things are, everything's going to work out? Not really. Not at the moment. I'm going to have to see a whole lot more. I must have to see a lot more. Some revolutionary blackout claiming that you don't want to die for Israel is now anti-Semitic, according to the ADL. Commentary referencing the conspiracy theory, which is a true conspiracy theory, right? There are conspiracies, and some theories are true. So that the U.S. is secretly planning to draft American citizens into war to defend Israel was a common refrain across ideologies. Similar language about not wanting to die for Israel often surges in both overly anti-Semitic and more mainstream spaces during conflicts between Israel and its adversaries, including earlier this month after Israel's airstrikes on Iranian regime targets. So there you go. But here's the thing, anti-Semitic or not, nobody. It's not anti-Semitic groups. It's just the public, the general public. It's just everybody. Nobody wants to die for Israel. Nobody's going to send their kids to a war for Israel. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And I feel like that's kind of, I feel like on some levels, the U.S., the Trump administration and the U.S. kind of understands that. They're going to have a really hard time getting people behind this in any way, shape, or form. And only the dunciest of dunces are going to be like, oh, yeah, we really got to go over there and kick some Iranian butt. Like you're really going to have a hard time finding people that are gung-ho for that mission. Ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. So, I don't know what to tell you. They seem to be stuck on stupid, right? The administration seems to be stuck on stupid, but they might be not stupid enough to keep going, to keep trying to go forward with this. Might be, maybe, I don't know. because it is a fool's errand to keep this going. Extra Bullet says they'll use mercenaries instead. Maybe, yeah. Nobody says it would be helpful if people took back language, i.e. Semitic. Yeah. It would be helpful. And I think people are wise to that. That anti-Semitic doesn't even mean anti-Semitic. Because if you're pro-Palestinian, you're pro-Semitic. You're not anti-Semitic. You're pro-Semitic. So whatever. Mega Yarmulke. Is that like a mega yarmulke? Uh-huh. Maga. Yes, nobody. Correct. The thing is that people are wise to what's going on. People see what's going on. The kids see what's going on. You're not going to sell this thing to people. You're going to create such a furor, pardon the pun, over this kind of stuff that people are gonna lose it. And if you didn't know that, now you know. Let's see. Israelis are now calling for the bombing of DC and murdering Trump because Trump is mad at them and he wants a ceasefire. And this is what Israelis are saying. Because that totally makes sense. One symbolic bomb in Washington will remind Trump that he is not omnipotent and will restore our national honor. Bro, if you think that's going to restore your national honor, you are the dumbest MFer that ever stalked the halls of Twitter or X or whatever that was. You are one idiotic, harebrained goofball. Restore our national honor. Okay. Bro, you don't have any honor left. Your national honor is gone. It doesn't exist anymore. And you did that all on your own. And I don't think bombing Washington is going to do anything for that situation other than turn the entire world against you. Like I feel like you want to see Israel just completely like wiped off the map. Try something like that. I think would probably accelerate that whole thing right away. Because at some point people are gonna be like, all right, I don't care, man, release the tapes, whatever it is you got, let's go. They were even caught threatening Iranian leadership, threatening to kill their families, their children, and their wives if they didn't acquiesce. What? Did y'all see that one? saw it here somewhere. Thought I did. Anyways. Well, here you go. Breaking news. Trump announces lifting of sanctions on Iran. So if that's true and correct, I don't know. Maybe he really wants to, in this thing. I don't know. I'll believe when I see it. Yeah, well, nobody. I saw. There's Jews in the Sudan, and Israel would not accept them as citizens because they didn't practice Judaism hard enough. However, South African Jews, lapsed or otherwise, were totally accepted as citizens. So I guess it does have to do with your skin color, right? Let's see if this is true and correct, because you got to watch out for those breaking news stories on X there, because everything's breaking and everything's breaking news. No, that is not. That's from. Well, this is from today. Trump declares China can purchase Iranian oil as market signals cautious optimism. Trump cleared China to purchase Iranian oil on Tuesday, eliminating long-standing sanctions, limiting the trade relationship. All right, well, that's something. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it is. Larry David? Oh, heck yeah. Not Larry Loomer? Man, once you see it, you can't unsee it, can you? Unfortunately, this headline is all too real, because people watch the news and think, is that totally happening? It's totally Larry. Yes. Yeah, I just can't see it now. No, I'm like, oh yeah, that's what's happening. The star of Larry David. That's funny. I'm sure he has a star on the Walk of Fame. He's pretty self-deprecating. He might actually do that episode himself. Man obsessed with cable news shot 2 Latino men he thought were illegal immigrants, said he was pissed about undocumented migrants receiving welfare. Well, they really know how to ramp up the news, don't they? It is a euphemism for Fox. But, whether you're pissed about it or not, don't go shooting people, They do, ramp up the rhetoric. And unfortunately, where I live, you hear that rhetoric a lot. People have totally eaten it up, hook, line, and sinker. Or hook, line, and stinker. They're taking our jobs. I say, They took our gerbs. That's right. I mean, it sucks that, you know, the working people of you know, the nation can't get like health care. Or decently paying jobs. I mean, you know, that is a thing to wonder. I don't think it's worth going out and shooting people over it, because you're kind of, you know, you're looking at the wrong suspects. The suspects are not the people that are, you know, coming over to get a job. Suspects are the people that are not people that are working tirelessly to take your hard-earned paycheck from you and give you nothing in return. And those people would be the ones with more power, right? The people that took all your jobs and shipping overseas and then told you that China was the bad guy. For selling you all your stuff. those are the people that you should be pissed at. Really, Salt Lickers, that's great. Jeff Bezos is now offering to deliver you to and from work at your job at the warehouse for free with your Prime membership. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Man, the time has just flown by. I don't know how it happens. Flown by. If you like the show, if you support the show, if you want to see the show continue to come to you for free 99, and you want the show to continue doing the dang thing, you can support the show at the links in the description box, or the link tree on X, or the link tree on Telegram. All the usual suspects are there: PayPal, Venmo, CashApp, Zelle, Buy Me Coffee, Ko-Fi, Patreon, Substack, etc. Many of you support the show on the regular. You know who you are, and I appreciate you. I really do. You is the best and the brightest and the smartest and better than the average bear. Smarter than the average bear. All right. What else is going on here? Love showing these videos of people pushing ice back out. Firefighters in Bell, California blocked ICE, made them reverse, and ran them out. Solidarity with fire unions that know who they serve and why nobody says F the firefighters. That's a fire truck whistle. Oh, hold on, guys. Hold on. Hold on, guys.
Oh my God. They made all this commotion, made them leave.
Sorry, let me play that again because we lost the audio.
Look at all this shit. Those are the agents. Those are all the fucking ICE.
All right. Good on the firefighters for that. Yeah, citizens and that was the fire department. So in some cases, the police and the fire department are not down. They're not in league with the ICE people. I've seen a couple videos where people called the police, like the regular police. They were being harassed by ICE, and the regular police showed up, and the ICE vacated. Let's see. Where are we? Okay, I gotta get rid of this. Gotta get rid of this. And this. All right. This should be the front page headline of every newspaper. ICE has deported at least 70 U.S. citizens. Where's the link, yo? A recent report from the Government Accountability Office confirms what immigrant advocates have long warned. ICE has deported American citizens. Between 2015 and 2020, ICE deported at least 70 people who were U.S. citizens. That's not just a bureaucratic mistake, it's a constitutional violation. So this is, a longer time frame. They're not talking about just recently, but over the last 5 years. Over the last, actually, 10 years. So it's interesting that they, as far as what's going on now, who knows? I mean, clearly they're rounding up people who are citizens, harassing people who are citizens. Hold on, here we go. Absolute horror show as Florida gets started building its own immigration detention center calling it Alligator Alcatraz in the Everglades to hold human beings in an area surrounded by alligators and snakes in horrific heat with no oversight. We're not going to be able to read this because it's New York Times. Oh, maybe so. No. I do it. Sorry for the scrolling, guys. Creative says lots of mad white people out there blaming immigrants for their problems. Yeah. You call BS what? On what? Here we go. Here we go. Florida building Alligator Alcatraz migrant detention center in the Everglades. Sorry. This is annoying. Let me get this going right. We only got a couple of minutes left here. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said the facility would be funded in large part by FEMA Shelter and Services Program, which was previously used to provide accommodation and other aid for undocumented migrants. The plan has been criticized by several lawmakers, including the mayor of Miami-Dade County, who argued it could be environmentally devastating. But that's all. But the environment, bro, I mean, that's fine. Also, housing illegal immigrants in a place that would probably be, on some levels, torturous is probably a problem as well. Proposal comes as Trump tries to deliver on a campaign pledge to ramp up deportations of illegal migrants. Under President Trump's leadership, we are working at turbo speed on cost-effective and innovative ways to deliver on the American people's mandate for mass deportations of criminal illegal aliens, Noem said in the statement. I don't know if that's how she sounds. I don't think so. No, Salt Lakers, no. No. The facility is to be built on the site of the Dade Collier Training and Transition Airport, public airport, about 36 miles from Miami. It will cost $450 million a year to run. Sure, of course it will. In a video posted on X, Florida's Attorney General James Uthmeyer called the airport a virtually abandoned facility. He said the detention center could be built in 30 to 60 days and hold an estimated 30 to 60 days and hold an estimated 1,000 people. So to build something in 60 days, hold 1,000 people, it costs $500 million. Get out of here with that. That's called money laundering. There's no way it costs that much money. No freaking way. Housing 1,000 people. And you're going to throw up a couple of shacks. And you're going to go, chicken, $500 million a year. No way. No way. Mm-hmm. Right. State will not need to invest much in security because the area is surrounded by dangerous wildlife. This is wild. Yeah, that's right. Dude, $450 million. So, whatever it is they're actually going to pay to whatever private company that's going to be running this, minus the cool couple of mil that your local politicians and the DHS are going to be pocketing into their own coffers. I call bullshit. I call money laundering. Excuse me, is this Doge? Is this Doge, Department of Government Efficiency? Is this, hello? Can I speak with Mr. Musk, please? Oh, he's not there? Do you know when he'll be back? Hello? All right. Well, that's horrific. A bunch of people were stabbed in France by syringes. This is a weird story. This story doesn't make any sense. No kind of sense. I don't like it. Seems to, for one thing, when I originally saw this, it's true. They were like, before the music festival, people were warning that there might be people running around with syringes stabbing people. And then they had the music festival, excuse me. And then people ran around and stabbed people with syringes. Horrific. I'm like, how? Really? So you said, watch out for the syringe stabbings, and then they had syringe stabbings? It just feels, I just don't believe it. I'm having a hard time believing the one. Not that I don't think it really happened. I just don't think like, whoa, a couple of random people went on a weird syringe stabbing spree. Like it doesn't, nothing about this makes any sense. It's a weird.
Festival goers in France were targeted in more than 100 syringe attacks over the weekend. 145 people were jabbed with syringes at different venues across the country during Fête de la Musique.
Just stabbing people with syringes?
Teenage girls
just
were
randomly?
among the people who ended up in hospital. Most noticed a mark on their body before feeling ill and seeking medical help. Officials have not yet said what was in the syringes. 12 people have now been detained in relation to the attacks. So, with hundreds of thousands of people set to attend festivals in the UK this summer, how can you protect yourself? Generally, the advice is to make sure you're aware of your surroundings. If you see something suspicious, then report it to staff or the police, and don't leave any possessions or drinks unattended. Festival goers in France were targeted in more than 100 syringes.
So, just people are just, I don't get it. Is this what we're doing now? Is this what we're doing? People, I mean, is this like the new thing that all the kids are doing? They're like, let's stab people with syringes. Yeah, bro, rock on. Absolute chaos at Paris' street music festival. 371 arrests, 6 stabbed, 145 girls injected with syringes with an unknown substance. Okay. Anyways, I want to read this a little bit before I get out of here, and just so you can feel my sense of confusion around this. Again, I'm not saying that this didn't happen. Just, y'all remember the Charlie Hebdo story and how weird that whole thing was? And everybody was like, you know. So millions of people took to the streets across France on Saturday evening for the Fête de la Musique, with authorities reporting unprecedented crowds in Paris. The feminist influencer Abrège Sur warned online before the festival that calls had been made on social media for women to be targeted with syringes. Okay, do you find this weird? Do you not find this weird? It was not certain where such posts would have been made or by whom. So let me get this straight. Yeah, people are insane. I'm not confused about that, Poppy. I'm not confused about that. People are weird. But a feminist influencer before was like, hey guys, watch out for the syringe stabbings. I mean, don't you find it just a little bit random? I don't know. I find it random. The Interior Minister said 145 victims across the country had reported being stabbed with needles. After the feminist influencer said, watch out for stabbings with needles. I have a problem with this story. I find it very strange. Because she said she warned about it, and then they were like, but nobody knows where these posts were and why. Like, but nobody really saw where these posts were. People were saying they're going to go out and stab people. I don't. Anyways, and then they don't know anything about anything. Officials did not say if the cases of so-called needle spiking with date rape drugs such as Rufinol or GHB used by the attackers to render victims confused or unconscious and vulnerable to sexual assault. So they're like, they did not say that there were the cases of so-called needle spiking. Some victims were taken to hospital for so they don't even know. It's indefinite whether anybody was stabbed with an actual product or not. Again, my sympathies to anybody who was stabbed by a needle. I think that's not cool. Please don't do that to anybody. I feel like that's really messed up. But this is just a weird story. Some people were arrested. Local public radio station EC France reported that several young women had complained of being stabbed with syringes in Évreux and Rhône in Normandy. I don't know if that's how you say it, Rhône. One woman was taken to a hospital with pains on her left arm where she believed a needle had been stuck into her. She believed. It just is very vague. Don't you find the story vague? I find this story vague. I find it very, very like we don't know. We don't know if anybody was stabbed with anything. So-called, maybe taken to the hospital with pains. She doesn't even know if she was stabbed by a needle. Like, it's just weird. But okay. Okay. Kate says we had a great neglected lot where we did some guerrilla gardening for years. We had to abandon the project because of needles. Ah, yikes. That's scary. Like people would throw their needles in there. That is very scary. I don't know. Weird story. I just heard about it and I was like, that's very strange. But when I read this article, I was like, it's even weirder now reading this article because nothing about this article like makes sense or explains anything. So I'm going to withhold my opinion on this whole story until I know a little more because nothing about this sounds right. Because they don't seem to know anything about anything in this story. But lastly, one of the candidates for mayor of New York City said, as mayor, I would have Netanyahu arrested if he came to New York.
And Mayor Mamdani, would you welcome Prime Minister Netanyahu to New York City for whatever he comes for, given the US is not a signatory to the ICC, so he can travel to the US, unlike a lot of other countries. Would a Mayor Mamdani welcome Benjamin Netanyahu to the city?
No. As mayor, New York City would arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. This is a city that our values are in line with international law. It's time that our actions are also.
Even though the US is not a signatory to the ICC?
No, it's time that we actually step up and make clear what we are willing to do to showcase the leadership that is sorely missing in the federal administration.
And Mayor Mamdani, would you welcome Prime Minister Netanyahu to New York City for whatever he comes for, given the US is not a signatory to the ICC?
All right. Well, that's pretty outspoken there. Mayor Gross-Didier wrote on Instagram that a call for syringe assaults had been launched during the music festivals in major cities on social. Yeah, but the mayor said that, not. But he said that somebody called for it. But who? That's the thing, is like you have this influencer saying, watch out. But you don't actually have any evidence that somebody was saying, here we come, we're going to do this thing. It's weird. I find it strange. That's just me. Anyways, guys. Appreciate you hanging out. Appreciate you showing up. Thanks for being here. You guys are awesome. What is it? Only Tuesday? It's merely Tuesday. Appreciate your support. Please like up, share the videos and whatnot, if you can. And I will see you tomorrow at the regular time, 12 p.m. Pacific. And we'll do the whole dang thing again. All right. All right. Oops. Peace out. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'm just trying to find my video. Arrivederci.